Deputy Foreign Minister and Expatriates Dr. Fayssal Mikdad has asserted that the law issued by the Saudi government on detaining the terrorists is a step backward, as it provokes these terrorists not to come back home, adding that those terrorists would prefer to be killed in Syria and not to come back to Saudi Arabia. Addressing media men following the conclusion of the session talk between the delegation of the Syrian Arab Republic and Lakhdar Ibrahimi, Mikdad stressed that Geneva communique should be discussed one item at a time to solve the crisis in Syria, adding that the Syrian delegation would not hesitate to discuss the issue of the transitional government. He underlined that unless an end has been put to terrorism in Syria, it would spread to the region's countries and to other world countries. Mikdad said that it is high time to put an end to all terrorist attacks and to reach a consensus among the Syrians themselves to stop bloodshed as a top priority. He went on to say that all should be aware that the main goal of the Geneva talk is to stop the bloodshed, and talking about a genuine political process was implausible without putting an end to violence, terrorism and foreign interference. He concluded by saying that neither the French foreign minister nor the French government have the right to talk about human principles, as they are very far from practicing them, adding that France supports terrorism and that the Chapter 7 of the UN's Charter should be used against it. The US and Britain because they back terrorism. Starting the meeting with the UN envoy Lakhdar Ibrahimi, the delegation of the Syrian Arab Republic labeled a draft declaration to condemn the massacre committed by the terrorists in the village of Maan in Hama countryside. Syrian TV News envoy to Geneva said that the delegation called on the UN through its envoy Lakhdar Ibrahimi to have a clear position in Geneva meeting towards the massacre in Maan and what preceded it of similar massacres against the Syrian people, pressing the countries that support terrorism to stop from pursuing such a policy in implementation of the UN Security Council resolutions. The delegation of the Syrian Arab Republic underlined that a suitable atmosphere should be prepared through fighting terrorism to pave the way for any political talks. The General Command of the Army and the Armed Forces announced in a statement that 42 people, including women, children and elderly, have been killed in the appalling massacre that was committed by the terrorists of Al Nusra against the secure people in the village of Maan in Hama countryside. The General Command of the Army and the Armed Forces asserted that such cowardly terrorist crimes will not go unpunished and that the perpetrators will pay a high price for their filthy acts.